Welcome to Saturday Morning Talk Show, Spilling the Tea to Juliet G. It's every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. GMT time.
My way. This kind of body done they cause you migraine. And when we leave, if we do, I'm your way. Or if you want, if you do, I'm my way. I wait, too short, I don't take. You tell me, and I know they go out one day. I know they care, say they buy my damn pray. Money on me mind, no stress. This kind love, yeah, where they make me want more. Whoa, come my way. This kind love, yeah, I don't want for the night. Make I know how you feel, like you want to. Lady, girl, say your body bad to me. Pass, make a joke, make a feel I'm. Baby girl, you know I see you. Yeah, with the love to the morning. Bad girl addicted to me. Only you know how see they do me. Only you know how see they do me. Oh, oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're my yeah. Casamigo. From Miami, go. Watch you get there. Baby, watch you get there. Yeah, yeah. Oh, shit, yeah, oh, for you, baby. If that money there too much, say make you talk. Cause you know the money long. Yeah, break your back with it. Yeah, now me and you, they talk, no one involved. Baby girl, make I indulge you. Yeah, use my word. This kind love, yeah, where they make me want more. Whoa, come my way. Oh, this kind love, yeah, I don't want for the night. Make I know how you feel, like you want that. Lady, girl, say your body bad to me. Pass, make a joke, make a feel I'm. Baby girl, you know I see you. Yeah, with the love to the morning. Bad girl addicted to me. Only you know how see they do me. Only you know how see they do me. Oh, oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. You're my yeah. Casamigo. From Miami, go. Watch you get there. Baby, watch you get there. Yeah, yeah. Oh, shit, yeah,
Wakey, rise and shine, people. You know what time it is. It's spilling the tea time. Yeah, baby. And guess who's going to be spilling their tea to me? It's a super Saturday, so let's start the right way. And you know what? It is the right way because you're tuned into Supreme. And for those of you that are just tuning in for the first time ever, thank you and welcome, which will now become your regular listening program, Saturday morning thing to do. Spilling that tea to Juliet G on your number one community radio station, Supreme FM to the rest of the world. No matter what part of the world you are tuning in from, north, south, east or west, and right about now, home is best because it's cold outside. Really cold. In fact, it's minus. I think it's minus. Well, anyway, no matter what part you are tuning in from, I converse with real people and get them to spill that tea. And that is a tea with a double E. And get them to talk their truth. Now, I want to wish my mummy a very happy 86th birthday for yesterday. Yes, and I thank the Lord for her life and my good friends, yes, two of them, Sonia and Sonia. You know who you are. Yep, two Sonias. Happy belated birthday to you, and may the celebrations continue. And if it was your birthday yesterday or today or last week, happy birthday to you too. Now, I'd like to thank my guest last week, Mr. Michael McFarlane, OBE. Now, Michael is so underrated and doing so much amazing things in the community. He's coaching, he's mentoring young people and prepping them for championship. That man needs more medals, yes. And I trust Michael is listening in this morning. Michael, we wish you well and all the best. And make sure you go down to Lee Valley training so that he trains you to be a champion athlete. So if you're a young person or you know of any young people that want to get championship training, contact Michael McFarlane. And you can contact him via DM on, I was just about to say Netflix. I'm sorry. No, you can DM him via Instagram. That's right, Instagram. Now, this morning, I will be in conversation with my resident relationship master coach, Miss Teresha Young, and we're going to be talking about building healthy relationships in the age of technology. So, you know what you need to do? Stay tuned. This is going to be very, very interesting listening. So, first and foremost, I'd like to big up my Supreme FM colleagues and our latest colleague, DJ Ans. And she will be on Tuesday morning from 10 till 11. So show her some love and tune in. It's going to be another talk show. So we're not all about playing music on Supreme. We do talk. We love to talk, don't we, Ans? And also, I'd like to thank my contributors and sponsors of my show, Supreme FM, Fine Boy Inc., and Martin Winter of James Shoe Care in Barkingside. Now, today is week 10. We are week 10 of the Coinage Crew Savings Plan. And there are 4 ways you can save. You can save forwards, which is £10, and we will be putting away £55. Or you can save backwards. No, sorry. If you save forwards, you put in £10, making a savings of £55. Or you can save backwards, which is £43, and you would have saved £475. Or you can do it monthly, and you can put away £114.83 for the month of March, making a total of £344.53. Or you can do it weekly, an even amount every week, £26.50, making a saving of £265. Now, however you choose to save, backwards, forwards, weekly, monthly, the end result will still be the same. So by the 30th of December 2023, we would have a grand saving total of £1,378. You don't have to give it to anyone. You don't even have to let anyone know. Just put it in a tin jar or even put it in your sock and put it away for that rainy day. As they say, a small drop makes that mighty ocean. So let's make a difference to our financial situation and keep saving. Now, attention, all young people, just to remind you about the monthly challenge. Now, I have just received my first. I'm so excited. My first entry. Yes. So, people, you know what you need to do? There will be 2 categories, primary and secondary. And I want you to get creative. I want you to write a story or a poem, or you can do anything of your choice. And I want you to do not a voice note. I want you to email me. Yeah. I want you to email me your voice note. So, and it mustn't be longer than 3 minutes. Now, each winner will win a £50 gift voucher. And at the end of the year, all the monthly winners will battle it out where they will win a trophy and a certificate, and a £50 gift voucher will be up for grabs. So be creative. You can even put sound effects to it if you want, or you can do it in spoken words. Make sure you send it with your full name and age, so I know which category to put you in, with your voice note, and email it to me. And that's stt2jg@gmail.com. That's STT, that's 2 T's, and the number 2, the letter J and G, @gmail.com. So stt2jg@gmail.com. And the closing date is Saturday the 25th of March. So, and all the winners will be announced on Saturday the 22nd of April during the show. So I hope it all makes sense. If not, check out my Insta or Facebook page for full details. Now I have community news and information. The Caribbean Takeaway is back at the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich on Saturday the 1st of April from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if you went last year, you know you're going to be in for a real treat this year. Just to let you know, this event is absolutely free. Now, Grief in the Black Community, Hush Harbour. It's an online event and it's going to be held on Wednesday, the 19th of April from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's only an hour and it's absolutely free. And this event will be looking at Black funerals, rites, practices, rituals, and the relationship with death. Now, because of the sensitivity of the topic, the organizers ask that you make an informed decision when choosing to book this event. I reckon that everybody should check it out. There's no harm in checking and planning your own funeral. It doesn't mean that you're going to pass away. It just means that you're prepared and it's less grief for your loved ones. Now, the Black Culture Spring Market is back and it's being held today and tomorrow downstairs at the department store 248 Ferndale Road at Brixton, and that's SW9 8FR. And there are carefully selected Black businesses of African and Caribbean emerging entrepreneurs. So if you're looking for gifts, cards, unique prints, jewelry, male grooming kits, and much more, book your free event on Eventbrite. And there will be different traders each day. and that's at the Black Culture Spring Market, which is being held today and tomorrow in Brixton. Now, do you know of any local acts that would want to participate or perform on Stephen Lawrence's Day, which is next month on Saturday, the 22nd of April. And they're looking for singers, poets, dancers, bands, volunteers, marshals, volunteers to join the events team. Yeah. And there'll be food stores, booksellers. If you're interested and you need to email unityofculture@gmail.com. That's unityofculture@gmail.com. And if you check out my Insta, it's up on there. Now, this is really interesting information. Somebody sent me some information, and so I had to check it out. And I went on to the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman, and there has been complaints about communication of changes to women's state pension age. And apparently they have closed stage 2 of their investigation into the way the DWP communicated changes to women's state pension age and associated issues. Now, they will be publishing a full report once the investigation is completed. So their findings for stage 2 has been that there has been maladministration in the way DWP communicated information about National Insurance qualifying years to women. There was also maladministration in complaints handling, and there was no maladministration in the independent case examiner's complaint handling, but there was maladministration in the way DWP communication about state pension age and about National Insurance qualifying years and its complaints handling, as they did not lead to all injustices claims. I hope that all makes sense. Yeah. So, as they say, watch this space. So if you want more information, check out the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman's website. So, if you have any community information that you'd like to share, just DM me via my Instagram and mark it up community information so that it gets my attention. And on that note, I want to bring on my big sister song so that she leads us in prayer. Just bear with.
Dear Lord God, as we listening again today to Spilling the Tea to Juliet G and her guest that's been on many times before, who we have a lot of admiration for, continue to watch over her, continue to bless her, continue to guide her. And as a resident relationship and master coach, let us take heed to her knowledge and her experience. Dear Lord God, I thank you for this beautiful day. May peace and love fill our hearts. Show us the way to light and truth. Help us to be kind and patient. Guide us with your wisdom. Dear Lord God, fill us with joy and gratitude, because we know that prayer is a great way to take a few minutes each day to give thanks to you for everything in our life. So, dear Lord, we're listening to Spilling the Tea to Juliet G. And as we listen through this week to everybody that works for the community on Supreme Radio, I lift them all up to you. Continue to be with us, continue to guide us. Whether we have a personal relationship with you, whether we believe or we don't believe, or if we're just beginners, dear Lord God, I want to say thank you. Thank you for all listening in. Thank you for my sister Juliet G for everything that she does, and also for her guests. So dear Lord God, as we continue about our weeks, continue to be with us. Your name is to be praised and glorified. As I lift this short prayer up to you today. Amen.
I don't know what to do with you, baby. Sweet love. Half of the time you got me crazy. Sometimes hot, sometimes shady. Sweet little love. Baby, why can't we learn to live together in sweet harmony? My love, you know it ain't right. The way you got up, ooh, the way we fuss and fight. You think you own me, don't try to control me. Oh, I'm not a puppet on the string. You got to trust me if you really want me. Let love guide your heart, don't let the magic fade. I don't know what to do with you, baby. Sweet love. Half of the time you got me crazy, crazy. Sometimes hot, sometimes shady. Sweet bitter love. Baby, I'm so blue. Why can't we fly the way that other lovers do? Only you can make it right. Hey, let's put an end, ooh, to long and sleepless nights. Love is a gamble, it's too hot to handle. Oh, but understanding is the key. Hold me, caress me, don't try to possess me. Let go, don't you know that love will set us free? Oh, I don't know what to do with you, baby. Half of the time you got me crazy, so crazy. Sometimes hot, sometimes shady. Sweet bitter love.
welcome back to Spilling That Tea to Juliet G on supremefmlive.ning.com. So if you are tuning in, welcome. Without further ado, I'd like to bring on my guest who is waiting patiently in the wings, my resident relationship master coach extraordinaire, Miss Teresha Young.
Woohoo! I'm here again. Hey.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing super today. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How's your week been?
Oh, it's been such a creative, productive, great week, and I cannot complain at all. I've got a lot of things done this week, so yeah, feeling really blessed and grateful for that.
Brilliant.
How about you? What have you been up to?
My week has been really good. My mum's birthday yesterday. She lived to see 86, and I am blessed. In fact, we are blessed, yeah. So,
wow. Happy birthday, Mummy.
Yeah, happy birthday, Mummy. Mummy's sleeping. Let's just hope she stays there.
You had too much fun, huh?
Too much fun. Yeah, let's just hope she stays there through the show. Because, you know, she's got to that stage where she's like a child. The minute she wakes up, that's it. So I hope whatever noises you might hear in the background, it's my mum. So
you're blaming Mummy.
I'm blaming Mummy. So, Teresha, congratulations to you on your recent invitation to be interviewed by is it Fuzia?
Fuzia, yes.
How are they? Or rather, who are they? And how did it come about?
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much for that acknowledgement, actually. It was such an honour for them to reach out to me. So a lot of my business work and interests are on LinkedIn, actually. So Human of Fuzia is a fantastic platform, actually. And it's an online platform, and it reaches over 5 million plus women around the world.
Wow.
And, yeah, massive global presence. From over 35 countries around the world. So basically, Humans of Fuzia showcases the experiences and struggles and the journeys and the thought leadership of women achievers from across the world in the view to be able to positively motivate young women as well to be guided to achieve their dreams. So it's all about celebrating diversity, promoting women's empowerment. And I had an amazing opportunity to share my journey and from being a kid to what I do now, with the hopes that it will inspire and move and even touch anybody who reads it, really, and let them know that they have everything in them to overcome obstacles and achieve their dreams.
Absolutely. That sounds really, interesting. And you're certainly going places. Just remember your monthly commitments to me,
Yeah, well, I'm up there getting my awards. Don't worry. You'll be front seat.
I'll be your plus one, will I?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Red carpet treatment all the way.
Hey! Now they're changing the red carpet. They make it grey.
What happened?
Grey, grey.
Why would you go from something so vibrant to grey? I don't even. Gosh, tell me there's some sort of.
Isn't it the Oscars? They changed their carpet to grey.
Wow. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Well, there's a reason for everything, really. There's some sort of political agenda behind that. Maybe, I don't know. Some controversy.
Well, they could change it to green.
Green is such a lovely colour.
Vibrant green.
Oh, well, anything that's not going to make me look green on the carpet, that would be fine.
Not blend in.
Not blend in, exactly. So, but yeah, definitely, you'll be there with me. Don't worry, I remember everybody. I'm grateful for everybody I'm connected with.
Listen, you know how many people are listening to you, Teresha? Yeah? So, remember what she said.
Oh, don't. I'll give you a Just Eat voucher or something.
A what?
A Just...
Oh, so now you're changing it. You see?
I'm sorry. You reminded me about how many followers I have.
when you have when you got people listening and there's evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on swiftly on that matter. Now, Teresha, the theme we're going to cover this morning is building healthy relationships in the age of technology. Where do we begin?
Oh my
goodness. Let's begin with how technology has changed the way we approach romantic relationships.
Yeah. technology is massive. I was actually having a conversation with a client that I have in North Carolina, because I have clients all over the world. And she was explaining how, for example, technology was a huge bone of contention in her relationship. And it can be simple things such as she was going through an experience, she messaged her partner, he had read it on WhatsApp, but he hadn't responded. It's been about 2 hours. But when she went onto Instagram, she could see that he was active. So it was like, there's several different ways in order to track people's movements. So there are on it, really. So there are pros and cons of it, and technology is going to be there no matter what we do. So what is important is that we find healthy ways to navigate it when it comes to our romantic relationships. Because we're not just talking about phones, we're talking about smart TVs, anything really, that could cause some tension between a couple. It takes up time, distractions, and all of that kind of stuff. So we do need to approach it from a way of, it's going to be there. So what are we going to do in order to manage the way that we use it? Because there is social media infidelity too. Oh my goodness, you've liked this post of somebody. Or who's that woman that you're following? Or who's that man that you like? All of that kind of stuff. Oh, you put a comment on it. There's so much transparency in social media as well. But it's about building up that trust with your partner, and that comes from having good communication with your partner to say, so what are our boundaries? What will we tolerate and what won't we tolerate when it comes to social media? And it feels so childish and petty, but it's important, because from my experience and what I'm seeing, it is causing some arguments and some conflict in romantic relationships.
Would you say technology has made people more closer together or made them drift apart in forming better relationships?
I have seen both sides. I have seen both sides of the coin. So definitely it has improved communication and intimacy in new ways.
It has?
Because, oh yeah, definitely. You can stay in touch with somebody throughout the day as well. Gone are the days in which, for some people, you see your partner, they leave to go to work at 6 o'clock, you don't see them till 8 o'clock at night. At least with technology, and we're talking about even going back to the basics, a telephone, a mobile phone, you can actually speak to that person throughout the day. And I've obviously agreed, because I also see so you have to be mindful of your attachment style. So an attachment style is the way in which you relate to somebody, and you can have healthy or unhealthy relationships with people. And it often stems from when you were a kid and the way that you were brought up as a kid. So by your carer or by your parents. So sometimes we can form an anxious attachment style, whereby we can become needy and desperate and clingy, because perhaps our parents weren't emotionally available or physically available, and there was an element of not feeling safe. So you can become clingy. And then you got avoidant, where you push people away, where intimacy and closeness isn't really your thing. Now, sometimes you don't even know that you have these styles. So technology can actually play to some of those areas too. So if you are needy and if you are clingy, you may be the person who is constantly calling your partner. Like, I know of somebody who will call her husband throughout the day, even though he's on a manual job. And if he keeps picking up the phone, then he's going to get in trouble by his boss. So he has to do sneaky things. And if he doesn't pick up the phone, then there's 101 questions as to why he didn't pick up the phone. Where are you now? What street are you on? So it's deeper. If you are finding that you are going to those steps of questioning and probing and interrogation, it's a deeper issue there. That's a trust issue, really. And that needs to be discussed that needs to be resolved in some way with your partner.
Well, so what would you say? Sorry, go ahead.
No. I just don't know if I touched upon how it has brought about closeness. I know I spoke about the distance there. But the closeness and intimacy, yes, because you can have those touch points during the day. You can do video calls. You can share calendars. And there are ways in which you can improve on intimacy. You can just give a little love note during the day. Hey, thinking of you. So it can also bring about closeness too. Taking a picture. Oh, look, I've just walked past this beautiful plant or tree. Look, you can share experiences during the day as well. So there is intimacy and closeness that can be used on technology too.
Okay. So what would you say are the advantages of technology in forming healthy relationships? Why are you laughing?
Yeah, because we really have to try and pluck out that. So I've heard recently, actually, I haven't done my own research around this, that it can take the brain up to 10 to 20 seconds to recognize an advantage or a positive thing or something good. But it can take the brain a quarter of a second to recognize something negative. So this is why when we are having these conversations, it is important to think about the positive, because the natural state of the mind isn't to go to the positive or to the advantages. So it's a great question that you asked me this, because we can talk about the negatives and drama and all of the red flags all day long if we needed to. That's what we see on social media as it is. You scroll through a feed, and what do you see? It's like lots of drama and all of the negatives maybe around a romantic relationship, and not enough healthy things. Anyway, I digress. So going back to the... got me there. But yeah, going back to the advantages. So the one advantage over it is that, for example, one advantage is for, let's say, long-distance relationships too. Now, there's a lot more effort that needs to be put into long-distance relationships. And it could be because you are in a different country. It could be because you're in a different part of the country. But it can allow you to do things such as have video calls with that person. Equally, you can have videos, even if you're not in a long-distance relationship, you can still have video calls with that person. You can have virtual dates with it. Technology, so let's go deeper, because we're not just talking about phones. We're talking about the internet too. That is technology. When it comes to somebody, you can send them care packages, or...
Did you say care packages?
Care packages. So, for example, if you're in a long-distance relationship, you can go onto an app. I will name a few. There's like Moonpig, or there's other online sites out there which you can get a care package. So you can put flowers in it, chocolates, all that kind of stuff, and you can send to somebody. So technology in terms of the internet as well has allowed us to connect in those kind of ways. You don't even have to go physically to the post office anymore to send something. It can all be done online. You get the person's address and bish bash bosh, it's gone to that person. So also there's other things like online apps can really bring people together and are an advantage. I know of many couples who use apps to track their daily activities. So, for example, there are lots of apps out there, but things like, which one is it? Fitbit, for example. You can go in there and you can connect with your partner, and you can track your exercising activities and give each other a thumbs up. And there's a lot of things that you can do jointly online. There are people out there who learn a foreign language with their partner as well by going onto an app and doing it. You can go and play games with your partner online through apps. So there are some advantages to it if it is used effectively and you communicate around it.
So how would you say technology has changed the dating culture? Because it's changed. I mean, for me, dating right about now is like a minefield out there. And if you're in a relationship, you best stay there.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I feel for people dating at the moment, it is a big minefield, and I don't actually see it maybe getting any easier around it, because there are a lot of people for example. Is
it because we are the older gen, so we see it quite differently because we've seen it change, and whereas the younger gen are seeing it as it is, so to them this is the norm. To us it's changed, and it's changed a lot.
Yeah. So yes, we can notice the change and the contrast in how to approach it. I think with the younger ones, so to speak, is that what they are seeing is a social media narrative on there, and that's not necessarily one of the most healthiest examples of what relationships can look like. So where is their benchmark? How can they see what a good relationship used to look like? Because they haven't got the social media narrative to show them that. So they're just seeing, they're going in there with their fists up, they're going in there with a barrier, I think, rather than a boundary. And there's a difference between the two. So, boundaries are knowing yourself, taking care of your mind, your body, and your spirit, and having those healthy boundaries with your partner. But then a barrier is when you go out there and you've got an armor around your heart already, because you're waiting for something to go wrong. You're waiting for that fight. You're waiting for that challenge. And that is, I think, what the younger ones are seeing at the moment. It's just a lot more. We have to go in there ready for the worst outcome, preparing ourselves for the worst. And So things like dating online, so dating apps, you just have to go in there prepared to know that not everybody's going to be genuine when you're on a dating app, and there will be. I know many people who have met their partner on a dating app and has led to marriage and children. There are success stories from it. Has it been an easy process for them? For some people it has, some people it hasn't. But for the ones who have gone on to having a long-term relationship, they were very clear on what it was. They were very clear on their love vision. They were very clear on their boundaries, and they filtered. They filtered. Because we can get into this desperate energy and trying to go on numerous dates, and they're not doing the filtering process, and it takes up time and it takes up energy. But it's okay to say no to that person, because the next best person could be ready for you if you was to give it a go. So it has its pros and cons when it comes to technology and dating. Dating apps, there's a place for dating apps. 100% there is. It's just the way in which you use it, really, and be very mindful. There's a lot of scammers out there on dating apps who are actually building long-term connections with people and then trying to take their money afterwards. And people are falling for it. They're sending money to these scammers because they're in a different country and there's some sort of crisis that has come up. I think many people might have watched that Tinder show
Oh, yeah,
on
Tinder
Netflix.
Swindler.
Yep, exactly. That's not an exception, unfortunately.
No, and it's still
it's,
ongoing. That's what
yeah.
I don't get. You know, like,
Yeah.
as much as it's being publicised, there are people still falling for that.
There is, and it's so sad. I mean, even daily, taken away from relationships, you get these messages come through, like from the HMRC or anything like that, to say, be careful. People are, or your bank might say, we never ask you for these details or your password or your... But people are really falling for it. And it's so... I had an email yesterday, and it looked like it was coming from a very valid source. Then when I clicked on the actual name of it, you could see it was like a Gmail account, so it wasn't even a proper one. And it wanted me to click on this attachment. If I had clicked on this attachment, what kind of virus would that have put on it? So it's really just being very mindful and being very aware that not everybody is genuine. Get onto a video call as soon as possible, if you can, with that person. And that's the beauty of technology as well. It allows us to really filter out the people who might be a catfish.
Yeah.
So they've gone out there and they're not their real self. They're onto a video call, ASAP Rocky. And just have a look and just see what the person is about. Assess their environment as well. Do it regularly, because there
when
are
you say
scammers out
assess
there.
their environment, what do you mean by that?
So having a look, so in terms of where are they sat, for like the room that they are in, the atmosphere, their surroundings and so forth. Because if, for example, somebody says that they live in, I don't know, I'm going to read certain different countries, I'm sorry, it doesn't seem like I'm discriminating, Russia or Dubai or Malaysia or wherever they are, does it actually look like they are there? Or they're always talking to you from like the confines of a bedroom or something like that?
A white
They're
background.
a white background or something like that.
There's
Why are you
nothing
always
wrong
in
with
the
a white-
virtual background?
There's nothing wrong with the white background.
No, there isn't.
If your house is white.
Well, exactly. That's your thing. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But certainly, it's just really just be present. If we can get better at assessing people's body language as well, are they actually looking at you, giving you great eye contact? Because often if people are making things up, they will look in a certain direction, or they won't give you eye contact when they're talking. So having a video call allows you to assess the overall body language too, and the way that they are speaking to you. And there's a lot that can be done. So it can actually serve you by keeping you safe, technology, and equally it can be a bit risky at the same time.
Another thing that I want you to just explain what a healthy relationship should look like. Because, I mean, as much as you talk about, if somebody doesn't know what a healthy relationship should look like,
Yeah.
Give them a better understanding. But you know what? We're coming up to that all-important break.
Ooh, fantastic.
So after the break, when Teresha comes back, she's going to explain to you what a healthy relationship should look like. Yeah, so
Brilliant.
She'll give you a checklist so that you know.
5 key things for you to think about, maybe. That would be cool.
That is excellent. See? It's better to, because sometimes people don't even know that they're not in a healthy relationship.
Sometimes they don't, but sometimes they don't even know that they are. That's the thing, because we're always looking
See,
out for the negative.
there you go. There you go. Okay, so when we come back, we will talk about what a healthy relationship should look like.
Real.
Welcome back to Spilling That Tea to Juliet G on supremefmlive.ning.com. And if you are just tuning in, morning, and where have you been? I'm in conversation with my resident relationship master coach extraordinaire, Miss Teresha Young. And the theme we're covering this morning is building healthy relationship in the age of modern technology. Now, over to you, Teresha. Before we went to break, I asked you the question. Can you explain what a healthy relationship should look like?
Of course, and I will do indeed. There's so many elements to what a healthy relationship could look like, and it is personal to each person. But I can share with the listeners some key areas to think about. So at least 5 key areas to think about. So to determine if you are in a healthy love relationship with somebody, consider whether you feel that there is an element of emotional and physical safety and security with that person. So, and it goes both ways, because our mind can be like, oh yeah, I thought one way, and your partner might feel completely different. So it's about, do you both feel safe in the relationship? So what do we mean by safety? So that can be that you feel completely emotionally and physically vulnerable with your person, that you can talk to that person without judgment, fear of persecution or criticism or any fears. Then that's a really good indication that you are in a healthy relationship with somebody. And if you can feel that you are safe in their presence, you can be your real authentic self. And when we say, oh yeah, keeping it real, be your authentic self, we're doing that from a place of kindness, compassion, empathy. Not that you can just say it as it is and, I'm going to be completely real with you, completely honest, but you say that in a way that could actually hurt somebody. So being your real authentic self does mean that you can open up to that person and you can be there with that person, and then they can also feel the same way about you. So that's the first one, safety on all levels there. Needs now, that's the second one. So do you feel that your needs are being met in the relationship and that you both have set healthy boundaries? And that can even be around the use of modern technology as well, and that they are being honoured and respected. Because it's one thing to set a boundary or to communicate a need. There's the intention, but then there's the execution on it. So how well are your needs being met? And there's a difference between being needy and needs. So needy is that anxious kind of disposition that I spoke about earlier, where you're clingy, you want validation from that person, and you just can be needy from that person. But needs are just saying there's something that is a more empowering state to be, is stating that it would be absolutely amazing if we could do this as a couple, or if you could show me love and appreciation in this manner. So sometimes we're not very aware of what we do need, and we just keep plodding along and not being able to communicate. And sometimes our partner can also get confused about what you need. They might buy you a present, for example, and you might not want a present from the person. You might not even want that necklace or the washing machine. You might actually...
You haven't forgotten that, have you? Leave the washing machine alone. That was years ago. And it wasn't a washing machine, it was a dishwasher.
Dishwasher. There we go. You might not even want that.
Well, I did.
You might want an act of service. So for those actually who are listening, who aren't aware of the 5 love languages, it might be a really useful exercise for you to go on and find out what your love language is. And basically, this is the way in which you just want to receive love and appreciation from the partner that you're with. And you can go online, you can put it in a search engine, 5 love languages quiz. It's a quick quiz that you do. And if you are in a love relationship, you can do it if you're single, and you can also do it if you are coupled up. And just go on, and there's 5 different love languages. There's physical touch, quality time, acts of service, gifts, and also, what's the other one that's not coming to my mind here? So it's a physical touch, quality time, acts of service, gifts, and words of affirmation. So when you find out, for example, so you might not even wanted a gift, but you just might have wanted your partner to affirm you, to give you some loving words. So then you can start to have a conversation around your needs. And what I love to do with the couples that I work with is that when you identify what your love language is, for example, it might be physical touch, you then have a discussion with your partner to say, so what can you stop doing when it comes to physical touch? What can you start doing? And what can you continue doing? Because I remember one time I was in a relationship with somebody, and they thought that I like physical touch, but they kept rubbing my leg, like rubbing it, like giving me friction on my leg. It was really soothing, but I don't want no form of carpet burn on my leg. Thank you. So I had to find a way to say, I love the fact that you care for me, you give me hugs. However, when you are rubbing my leg in that kind of manner, it's actually really uncomfortable. So what you could start doing is, and then you give the alternative. And it's about trusting that you can communicate that with your partner, and they may take it personally. You can't control how somebody receives it, but when you have having a communication with somebody in a very healthy way, you could get to that stage where you can say something and it's not going to deeply offend it. It's just the way in which you say it. But I could have turned around to that person and said, "Oh, stop. Now, that really hurts." Now, that's going to come across as being quite tactful and not caring at all. So it's just the way in which you say it. So say something positive. I call it a compliment sandwich. Say something positive about that person and what they do. Then you put in the middle the bit that isn't, say, nice, I would say, or say positive, or the experience that you're going through. And then you end it with something positive. So that's a nice way to frame a discussion. So that's the second one, needs. Am I going too fast, Juliet?
No, not at all. No, not at all. Not at all.
I want to make sure I'm not losing anybody here.
Well, you're not losing me. I was just
okay.
engrossed. I was just thinking, trying to live down my dishwasher. I'm only joking. Go ahead.
No, but I absolutely, that was what you welcomed.
Listen,
that was a need.
I welcomed that many years ago, and I will even welcome a builder.
Oh, you see? Let's put that out there then. Let's send those positive prayers for that. It all starts with the mind, right? So we can do that.
It all starts with the mind, Yeah. A good builder, not
there you go.
Yes.
You have to be very specific about what we place in our order now, because you can get a builder, but you want a good builder with a skill set to
a good electrician, a good carpenter,
a
good tradesman.
You don't know who's listening right now, so
hey.
that might come your way. Holler at Juliet. So, but yeah, that was 2 signs. So a third sign is that you have shared values and a vision and goals for where you want to go. Now, because of what I do, being a relationship coach, a lot of the issues that I see is that the relationship has just become boring, or it's become stale, it's become dry. So it's really important that you continuously have that conversation with your partner. You will set your own schedule as to what that's going to be. It might be once a month, might be once every couple of months, whatever it looks like, to say, what are our goals for our relationship? What is our vision? How are we changing and growing as a union? And are our values still aligned? Because our values are what we hold to us, and they are important in our life, and they drive our behaviours. And when we can share the same core values with somebody, such as kindness, love, fun, adventure, those type of things, respect, loyalty, trust, those kind of things, then it's going to actually drive your behaviour. So That's a really good sign that you are having those shared values. We have to also pay acknowledgement that there is beauty in the contrast too. So whilst you can share these commonalities, the wonderful differences between you and your partner are also to be celebrated and welcomed, because that's where it adds a bit of flavour as well. Like, oh, you like that? Oh, I like this. So what can we do to show more interest in those areas if we need to? We might not show that interest and just allow them to do their thing there, but at least it's a different kind of conversation around it, what's happening. So definitely evaluate your goals. Have some short-term goals. Have some long-term goals. And how are you going to celebrate each other next week or every few weeks or every few months? And then what does your 5-year plan look like? What does your 10-year plan look like? Where do you want your forever home to be, if that's going to be the case? I really believe in the dreams that you are sharing with your partner, and taking some steps in order to get there. That's so important to do. So, yeah, that's another one. I would say another good sign to look out for is expression. To be able to be emotionally available and mature with that person. Now, can you really communicate? Can you express yourself clearly and openly and honestly with each other? Do you feel that your partner listens to you and you equally do the same back? Because there's a difference between just listening and hearing. Like, you can, oh, yeah, I get that. But so what are you going to do about it? You know, some people are actually listening to respond, but not actually listening to understand what that person, you're ready with your response. I know I'm going to say this back. It's like, no, just actually listen to what they're saying. Even if you have to repeat back the words that they said to say, am I hearing this correctly? That what you are saying is, and then it just opens up that conversation. And equally, we have to be open to receiving feedback as well, and to put a positive spin on what feedback can do for us and have us grow. I think we have been nurtured from growing up from school into our employment days that when you're going to get feedback, it usually is some sort of performance review, and there's going to be an area of improvement, which isn't always a bad thing, but it's the way that it's delivered. It feels like, oh, I really have to go in there and I'm going to get criticised. I've done something wrong, really. That's kind of what we're looking out for, the negativity around it. But being open to receiving feedback from your partner is so important for your growth, because who you was yesterday, who you was 10 years ago, is going to be a completely different person to who you are now and who you are becoming. So it's important to have that open and honest communication with your partner, and to be sure that you are both showing up with integrity as well. Like I said, the words and actions have to be in alignment. It's one thing to say, yeah, I'm going to do it, intention, but what's the execution around that? So that's I would say that's a green flag when it comes to having a relationship. Is, can you express yourself confidently and freely without judgment, and you can communicate well, and to know the way in which you use your words, because words are powerful.
Very.
And the way in which you say the words, you have to consider what you say and how you say it.
Also,
because it can
tone,
be
isn't
hugely
it?
triggering.
Tone, the tone that you use.
Yeah, the tone exactly in which you use. So you can say something and change the pitch of it, change the pace of what you're saying. If you're racing along the conversation and you're not taking those pause and breaks, and you're not, tone is just really like monotone like this, and I could talk for the whole time that we're on the radio show, and I could talk like that's just, well, it's going to drive people insane. Going to be completely bored. It's not going to have any sort of...
I thought you was just going to do, the races. You sounded like that fella from the races.
Sometimes I actually think I do sound like I'm doing that. People have to slow me down with my speech. But yeah, so just consider the way in which you are using your tone as well, and the way that you are wording what you're saying. So I statements are so important, and for those people who follow us each month, they will hear me repetitively say about I statements, because I feel, I've noticed, I'm concerned, I'm worried. It brings it back to you, rather than you make me feel, you do this, you do that, which is so...
You make me sick.
You make me sick. That's a song, wasn't it? I'm sure that was a song by
I
Prince.
hate you so much right now.
Oh, police, just bringing it all on now.
Yes.
Oh, I hate. I know you brought it back to the I.
Yeah. See, I hate you so much right now. Khalees,
And you know what?
she was not ramping.
Even she wasn't ranting, but even if you are going to say that to your partner, like, I feel hatred for you right now, or I hate you right now. Okay, it's strong, it's
You
powerful. But if you said you make me hate you, that's different. But then you have to explain why you feel that way. So because X, Y, and Z. And I'm so keen for noticing patterns. Like, somebody might make a mistake, quote unquote mistake, for one time. You don't necessarily have to call them out on it.
Mhm.
But let's say they've done it 3 times.
Mhm.
At least then you can go back to that person and say, I've noticed that on this occasion, that there seems to be a common pattern or theme. And then at least they've got more evidence, so to speak, to have a discussion around. Because we are human and there's going to be blunders along the way. So it might not always be necessary to call them out on it, but it depends upon what it is that they've done, of course, isn't it? But we just have to be mindful that we're not becoming like petty, and it's not tit for tat, and it's not scorekeeping and all of those kind of like nitpicking behaviours. Because the nitpicking is really just a sign that there's something deeper. You're nitpicking because either you don't feel loved and appreciated by that person, and that goes deeper. So you're now going to nitpick at all of the small little things in order to get their attention and to have some form of connection with them, some sort of communication with them. But that's not a healthy way. So it's really important that you speak about and you know what you're saying and the words that you use. Choose them very, very carefully.
Plan.
And I just
plan.
what's that?
Plan.
Plan ahead. Then there's the thing. The more that we can get into practice about planning what you're going to say, is about planning what you're going to say with these I statements. As I said before in our discussion, start with something positive if you can find something positive to start with. And then it's that whole bit that you want to work on in the middle, and then end with something positive as well, because that's really the benchmark that you want to be moving forward on, is that positivity. So you plan ahead. Also assess 3 other things: the timing of that conversation, if you're going to have it. If you're tired, well, that's energy really, but the timing of it, it could be like, is it better for you to have it when it's in the morning, when you guys are fresh in your mind, rather than at night when you might be feeling tired? And then also it's the environment. Is it the right place to have the conversation? If you're going to have a one-to-one, heart-to-heart conversation with somebody, you might want to have it in a busy environment. You might want to take it quietly. You might want to take it out of the house, because sometimes taking it somewhere neutral can be so refreshing, because then you come back to hopefully the safety of your home. So you might even want to have a discussion outside of the house. And then also it's the energy that you're bringing to it. It's to come there. Things might not be looking so good, you might not be feeling so good, but if you come with the right vibes, so to speak, that can really be a game changer. So assess all of those things there. The 5th one that I want to touch upon is personal space, because being with somebody can be absolutely magical, and I believe that we are wired to connect with somebody. We are born to love and to connect with people. Having a personal space too is a very positive sign, because we can be so inner each other that we don't give each other enough time to do what we want to do as well. And to be able to have that conversation with your partner without them getting upset, without them feeling smothered, or without you feeling like you are feeling smothered or guilty or ashamed or blamed for spending time with you, and that's really, really good. And that can be whatever that means to you. Me time can be whatever that means for you. It could be time for personal development, like some form of self-growth or healing that you want to do. It could be having a nice long bath. I love my baths. I love putting rose petals in my bath, having a bath bomb or Epsom salt, having candles. That's my me time. I listen to a book. I might even watch something on my phone whilst I'm in the bath. No, exercising, going for a walk, having a massage, whatever it means for you. Have some me time is such a good sign. Then you can come back into that relationship and share your experience if you wanted to. So I think it's really important to know that you can enjoy your hobbies and your interests separately too. It's just about discussing the regularity for it and allowing some flexibility, because, for example, let's say you say, okay, I'm going to have me time, and that means that's 2 hours a day in the evening when you come home from work. That's my me time, and I'm going to do that daily. And the other person might say, yeah, but where's the time for us to connect? So you have to have that that discussion about how regular that's going to be and what that's going to look like. And when that person is having their me time, so for example, if somebody is out with their friends, then allow them to be out with their friends and don't be texting them when they're out, calling them when they're out. Allow them to have that time and that freedom, because that's an agreement that is going to come between you guys discussing what me time looks like. So that takes trust. It does take trust as well.
Does,
but it's so important.
It certainly does. Now, Teresa, can you tell us about some of the common challenges that and red flags couples face when navigating technology in their relationships?
Yeah. So some of the challenges, and I spoke about expression before in terms of having a healthy relationship, is the communication piece and the misinterpretation of text messages, for example. Again, there can be a little bit of passive aggressive behaviour that can come across on communication. So WhatsApp, for example, let's say somebody has said something and you don't respond to it and you just give it maybe like a reaction, like a thumbs up or whatever reaction you choose to use. That could be a sign that you're not really happy with it, but you're just in agreement. But that's not actually allowing you to express the way that you feel. And the other person may notice it and may say, I've just written you, a message here and you come back with a thumbs up. So it can cause some misinterpretation over it. I actually had another client as well who had just started dating somebody, and she sent him a message just saying how she's a bit nervous. She doesn't think it's working out. She's not sure about what his expectations are going to be when they meet up. She's not ready to get that intimate with him. And she was basically saying that she just thinks it's best that they stay friends. So he went back to her and said, can we have a conversation around this? Because I think there's a little bit of misunderstanding as to what is going to be expected. They had a conversation. They ironed things out.
Teresha.
And that... Oh, yeah.
Sorry, you're going to have to put a pin in it. We're coming up to that all-important break.
Okay. I will stop it there. I'm at 600.
Welcome back to Spilling That Tea to Juliet G on supremefmlive.ning.com. And I have been in conversation for the past hour and a half with my resident relationship master coach, Miss Teresha Young. And the theme we have been covering this morning is building a healthy relationship in the age of modern technology. Now, if you're just tuning in, welcome, but you know what? Where have you been? Back to you, Teresa. It is the last segment of the show. And, oops. Oh.
Are you there? Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Oh,
Everything
okay.
okay?
Do you know what? It just sounded a bit weird just then. Yeah. Before we went to break,
Oh, God.
we was talking about, for you to tell us about some of the common challenges of and red flags couples face when navigating technology in their relationships. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll just continue on that cliffhanger that I left you guys on. So it was about the misinterpretation of text messages, and I was sharing how one of my clients had a message come through from a person that he had just started dating, and she was going to bring it to an end basically because basically she just did not know what his expectations were. But they jumped on the phone and they were able to iron things out, and they are continuing to meet because there was a little bit of misunderstanding. But if he had just taken that text message and said, okay, fine, I appreciate that, respect that, let's go, they wouldn't have had that opportunity to have that verbal conversation. So some of the challenges is that there could be a misinterpretation of the text message that you've received. I'm not just talking about old school text messaging, WhatsApp, email, whatever it is. But pick up that phone as well maybe and see whether you can elaborate and expand on that. So that's one thing. There can be challenges, privacy concerns, for example. There can be a lot of jealousy and insecurity if couples feel that they are maybe competing for attention or comparing themselves to other people using their phones. So you just have to be really transparent about your social media use so that you can avoid behaviours that could be seen as being flirtatious or inappropriate. So again, another red flag could be secretive behaviour around using the technology. You might come into the room and your partner suddenly shuts down whatever they were looking at. You will notice these kind of things. Some people want to know their passwords for their partner's phone as well. And those kind of things can feel like you're not being very trusting, or you're not sure about that person's behaviour. If that partner says, no, I don't really feel comfortable giving you my password, then you may say, well, why not? You know, what is on your phone that you don't want me to see? What are you doing? So you have to have those conversations about why you being, it feels like you are being secretive. No, I feel you are being secretive because you're not sharing that password with me. And I just want to understand a bit more about why you feel that it's not okay for you to share it. So it's having those discussions around it. So now those are some of the red flags that can crop up around it. So, but then it could be a case of you just find a workaround around some of those red flags and understand what your boundaries are.
Okay. Would you say that technology can make a relationship shallower?
It could, depending upon how you are using the technology. So if you are using it for bite-sized communication and you get to the point now that you can't even have a verbal communication with your partner because you're so used to just doing these bite-sized communications, then yes, it could make the relationship shallower. So it is important to say, how can we use communication alongside, how can we use technology alongside the overall dynamics of the relationship? Because it's only one part of it. So to keep that depth, just say that's a bolt, that's a side thing, but what else can you use? How can you use it to enhance the relationship? So it's about how you use it, not what you're using, it's about how you use technology. But as I mentioned before, it can actually improve intimacy. You can actually go on there. For example, if your partner's love language is words of affirmation, you can go on it during the day and you can affirm that person doing it. If it's quality time, that may be an aspect of you actually are spending some time with that person during the day to be able to give them a call. Oh yeah, on my lunch break, I can talk to you for 20 minutes or so. No, how you doing? So again, it can be used to the advantage.
So what advice would you give to couples who are struggling to connect and communicate due to technology?
Yeah, there's so much around this piece as well because it is a bone of contention when it comes to technology. And as we've said throughout this discussion, Juliet, that there are the pros and there are the cons. Now, if you are struggling to communicate or connect with your partner because of technology, I would strongly invite you to have those times where you can take breaks from technology. So it could be a case of when that person comes home, you've got an agreement that you will, for that first half an hour or so forth, you'll just talk. You'll just connect. It might not be half an hour, it might be 15 minutes, whatever works for you, just to have some good conversation about how the day was. And it's about thinking about what that communication is going to be like. Because if you say to somebody, oh, how was your day? They're more likely can say, yeah, it was good. How was yours? Wow. Like, how much further do you go from that? So if you ask them a different question, such as, you know, what was the most positive thing that happened in your day today? You know, what was the most beautiful thing that happened? You know, what do you feel could have done differently? What could have gone better for you? Ask some questions that allows that person to explain a bit more, some open-ended questions. And that means taking a break from technology. You put it down. Also, like if you're on holiday, you may say, we're going to take a break from using our phones on holiday, or for a portion of the day, we're going to take a break from it. And I know that can be quite challenging for a lot of people in this world of social media and Instagram stories, Facebook stories, WhatsApp stories. You want to go in there and post pictures of your legs, or whatever you're doing.
Don't do it.
Say, like, can we have a break from it? And I know a lot of people have online businesses or they're on their emails, and it could be a work email, and they do need, quote unquote, need to be on top of that. Fine. So how is that going to look for us? Is that going to be in the morning? That you might spend an hour checking your emails, and then for the rest of the day, we're good. It's couple time. So, you know, taking that break from technology is really good. Doing something together, such as maybe even going on a walk together and just putting your phones down and spending that quality time. That's going to be really, really helpful. So that's one thing you could do. Use positive language when you're communicating. as well. We spoke about communication through it and use that in a very positive way. Now, also, if you've got something juicy, something chunky, or something that's not going to go down very well with your partner, don't put it in a text message. Like, don't do that. Because you're going to do either some sort of ping pong going back and forth. You're going to get mad. Like, you're just going to go, flip road squad.
Yeah.
So it's a case of just save it. You don't even have to maybe give them the heads up that there's something on your mind. You can say, can we save this? If you're starting to go into that ping pong kind of back and forth, you can say, look, I think this is better for us to have a conversation face to face when we get home. Just give you that pause. So use positive language and also know when it is inappropriate to be having that kind of conversation over text messages, for example. And even if it's on the phone and somebody's getting a bit irate, say, look, this is going to be better for us to see each other. Now, you might not live with each other. There might not be the opportunity to see each other, but then just give yourself that pause to say, let's come back to this because we're too mad right now, or one person's mad and it's not going to go anywhere. So give yourself that. Also, look, there is professional help out there if necessary. There is. So there's coaches, there's counselors, there's therapists. If you need to communicate with somebody who is external to that, who can help you to express yourself as a couple, then seek out those tools as well, because that could be a really healthy way to get you guys back on track.
And is there anything that you'd like to add before I let you go? Because we are coming to the end of the show.
We are. Gosh, it always feels like it goes so quickly.
I know.
Yeah. So I do enjoy the times that I get to share with you and your audience. And, if I can leave some of the key things, really, it's about creating some trust and some boundaries and establishing them, having really good open conversations about technology use and setting some guidelines around what is okay, what isn't okay in terms of how you use it, communication, privacy, anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. And be very open and transparent about it. You may actually have to do your own piece of healing work. If it's trust issues, perhaps it's not such a big deal that person is on Instagram. Maybe it's your own trust issues and healing that you could work on. It could have been something that happened in the past, some experiences. We always have to do that self-inquiry as well, because it can start with us. So, but then having that communication to build that trust and boundaries around communication use and what that looks like. And again, if something's starting to wind you up or trigger you, then have that conversation with that person and let them know how you're feeling about it. It's so important to do that because it can bring about distance, and equally it can bring about the most beautiful intimacy between people too if it's used in a way that benefits both people.
Excellent. And Teresa, finally, can you remind people how they can contact you?
Absolutely. So I am Teresha Young across all social media platforms, being LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all of those social media accounts. You'll see me my first name, my surname. So you can follow me, you can reach out to me there. I do couple coaching, I do one-to-one coaching too, should that be of interest to you. I also have some marvelous e-guides, some free e-guides, such as the 5 ways to build healthy love, like what I touched upon today. If you want the physical copy of that, then you can reach out to me, send me a DM, and I can get that across to you. And I've got some other e-guides too that you can find on my website, which is www.tereshayoung.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Teresa. It has been a real pleasure and honor, as always. You have enlightened us to what it takes to build in healthy relationships in the ever-changing world of modern technology. And I trust the listeners found it as useful as I did, especially if they're not into technology. At least it has shed some light. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
As always. And what's your plans after the show?
Well, in an hour's time, I'm actually being interviewed for a podcast. So I'm going to be a guest on that, talking about dating and relationships. So I'll be getting myself prepared for that conversation. And then I think it's a nice day. There's no snow here. So I think I'm going to go on a lovely walk in nature and just be in a state of gratitude.
Lovely. Excellent. And on that note, Teresa will be back next month with us with more relationships, advice and suggestions.
I will do. Thank you very much.
Take care. Have a good day.
Take care, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was Teresa. Now, keep it supreme with me, your host, Juliet G. Next week, I will be doing an update special with some of my previous guests and finding out what they've been up to since they were last on the show. So, like I always say, each and every week, keep it. You don't want to miss it. So set your alarm clocks from now. Coming up next, we have Martin J till 12 noon. And from 12 noon to 2 p.m., we have La J. And 2 till 5 p.m., we have an extended show with TLC. And from 5 to 8 p.m., we have an extended show with WJ Goodgroove. And from 8 till 10, we have Lloydie Banks. And from 10 till midnight, we have DJ Squeaky. And from midnight to 2 a.m., we have DJ Uncle Nuts. That, ladies and gentlemen, is our full deck of cards for Saturday's Sunday morning lineup on your number one community radio station, Supreme FM. As always, thank you to each and every one of you, whether you be a first-time listener or a regular listener. Thank you for spending the last couple of hours with yours truly. Stay tuned and be prepared to be fully entertained with the rest of the presenters for the day. Now, if you're not already following me on the gram, it's Spilling the Tea to Juliet G, where you'll get show updates, notifications, and when I'll go Insta Live. The next one being Thursday, the 23rd of March from 9 p.m., where Jeff Schumann and myself will be discussing the mother of all conversations, cheating. I can't wait. So, it's the same time next week for your Saturday morning fix. Remember, tomorrow is not promised, so love and appreciate the people who are in your life. And as always, who are in your life, as you have no business worrying about those that aren't. First and foremost, look after yourself and be kind to others. It takes a village. Let's build our village and be kind to one another. Have a blessed day, have a safe day, and make it a memorable day. Whoever you choose to spend your day with, enjoy. See you next week. Bye.
Storming outside, rain, she keeps me home. Quiet conversation makes me warm, so warm. Summer rain, sweet rain, whispers me to sleep and wakes me up again. My rain, sometimes I swear I hear her call my name. I swear, wash away the pain. My summer rain. In the middle of the night when I'm alone, I feel her kisses on me, even when she's gone. Can't wait till she gets home. Hey, whispers me to sleep and wakes me up again. Sometimes I swear I hear her call my name. To wash away the pain. My summer rain. I don't mind if it rains forever. If it rains, let it rain on me. my name. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Summer rain, summer rain. So baby, won't you be my summer rain? Whispers me to sleep and wakes me up. So baby, won't you be my summer rain? Sometimes I swear. Oh, say baby, would you be my summer rain? Yeah, yeah. So baby, would you be my summer rain? Hey, hey. So go ahead. Oh, why don't you go ahead and make it rain? Yeah. Sunshine back again. Go ahead and make it rain. Baby, would you rain on me? Just wash away my pain. Yeah. I need you to make it rain. Do it for me one time.
I'm going back to the day we parted and all the ways you were broken hearted. Take a trip every day in my mind. I see your face, I recall every word. It's playing back like a broken record. I remember every tear in your eye. If I knew what I know, I'd walk back in time. I would right every wrong. Ooh, I would change every line. Then you'd be here right now, just like yesterday. But you feel no more doubt when you hear me say, you're the only one I want. You're the only one. You're the only one I need in my life. In my life, baby. You're the only one I love. I love, I love, I love. You're the only one I need in my life. Yeah. I see the world through a haze of memories, and other guys don't mean a damn thing to me. It's kinda sad how they just don't compare. Time will tell, let's wait and see if the love we had was meant to be. Cause I know we got a future out there. Cause you're still my guy. I don't care what they say. Let's go back to the world. Baby, don't you throw this love away.